What's up, y'all? It's your boy Rich.
And your girl Asia.
And this is Trucker Talk TV.
They can school you on trust, man. All you gotta do is listen. If you wanna make some money, grab your pen and pay attention. Those runners, they some champions. They always on a mission. If you got a load need picked up, then just hit them. They come get it.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Rich, a.k.a. Rich Poppy, a.k.a. the flyest one. I got Asia, and this is another episode of Trucker Talk TV. Listen, y'all. We got a special episode today.
Again.
We got some family in the building.
We had one last week, y'all, and
yes.
we got another good one today. This about to be
Listen.
This about to be lit.
We got some entrepreneurs in the building.
Yeah.
We got some
special people.
Special people. Ladies, can we get a hand clap? First and foremost, get a hand clap, y'all. For the special women.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling? Y'all looking good?
I know.
About show.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
All right, there you go. How you doing?
We good, man.
How you
good. Hey, y'all, we blessed to have y'all. We want to thank y'all, and we want to give y'all flowers. So this is why we brought y'all on. This is family, y'all. Family.
Yeah.
Family, y'all.
Yes,
These are the Braxtons, and we great. Set it off, y'all.
The
ready?
family Richie don't tell y'all about, because he never tells people he related to the Braxtons, y'all. Yeah. He don't tell people, but here's the moment. Here's the moment. He don't tell people, but here y'all go. Yeah. It's not that he just, it's just Richie. Y'all know Richie. He lay low. He be chilling. Hey. He don't answer no questions that you don't ask him. So if you don't know, then you don't get that.
There you go.
He don't. Richie don't answer no questions that you don't ask.
So Braxton.
Listen, ladies, introduce yourself.
Yeah.
You want to go first, cuz?
Oh, I can. All right, I'm Tynesha Braxton. Owner of, co-owner of Breaking Bread with the Braxtons. It's our catering company.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been actually doing this for probably about, since 2008.
Wow.
Awesome.
For a while now, yes.
Ooh, that's a long time.
And that's your product right there.
Yes, this is our product. This is our crab cake seasoning. As a matter of fact, on Growing Up Braxton, we show you how to even use our crab cake seasoning. Uncle Michael was one of our first testers, just showing everyone how easy it is to prepare a nice meal for those who don't even know how to cook. You'll know how to cook with this.
Okay.
Awesome. And I guess another question. You're on YouTube. What was the YouTube code again?
Growing Up Braxton.
Okay, so they can go on YouTube and find Growing Up Braxton's. Okay. That's awesome. And you could see, everything. And by the way, y'all, the Growing Up Braxton's, that episode, that was in her. I was like, this in a restaurant?
That
I was
was beautiful.
like,
That
it's a beautiful kitchen, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta go see it, because it's just so beautiful. Like, everything was just so nice, and I just love it. And people love good content. That's what people don't understand.
Absolutely.
Like, sometimes it's like, when I seen it, I was like, is this a restaurant? She was like, that's my kitchen. I was like,
it's okay, because
we talking to the right people, Rich. You about to get a kitchen like that? We about to get a kitchen like that? Don't leave me hanging.
It's okay, because actually, you all, I'm going to invite you all out so that you can actually, cook in the kitchen and show everyone how easy it is, simplistic it is to make a home cooked meal. Because Growing Up Braxton, Breaking Bread with the Braxtons, it doesn't make a difference. I am very family oriented. I love the idea of family, and as easy as it is with our busy lifestyles, like we can just go out, go to a restaurant, just go eat, but it's nothing like that home cooked meal.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, I just feel for the younger generation who may not know or have that memory of, you remember grandma's cornbread, or you remember grandma's pot roast. What they remember now is Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. Like the other day when we were out, your kids text you, and what did they say? Can we DoorDash? I never knew I'm tell you, I never knew what a DoorDash was. We would have never ever thought about DoorDashing anything. The only DoorDashing we ever did was running to your neighbors and asking for
a loaf of bread, sugar.
Can you borrow a cup of sugar? Those are our DoorDash. You know what I mean? And I've never known. To this day, it's still a mystery. How do you borrow a cup of sugar? You're not gonna give it back. Right.
No, that's
that exact cup of sugar. That's what. But even still, right?
No, even still, I wonder one day somebody should not go to the, like, excuse me, I'm just bringing your sugar back.
Right, exactly. The cup that I borrowed. But all in all, Breaking Bread with the Braxtons is really about just keeping that family, unity together and keeping community,
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
Keeping our community growing. So we're gonna try it out.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay. I'm so proud of you.
No. Look, y'all. Don't Look,
There you
she
go.
is the restaurant.
Yeah,
we already
right.
deemed her the restaurant, right?
Right, that's
She's
right.
not on the menu.
Right.
She's not on the plate. She's not
there you
even
go.
in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not in the kitchen.
Okay. That's a good one.
Look, she said, so it was funny because Tanisha had gave me something to say that was inspirational for something that I was doing, and it was awesome. She said something that I really want you guys to take with you and remember, which would be, she gave me a quote, and she said to me, one thing for sure, two things for certain. You either on the menu or you place in an order. And I love that because then I went and told it to somebody else, and they was like, you're either on the menu or you place in the order, but I'm trying to work my way off the plate. And I love that because it just really stuck with me. And I think everybody in their own business, as Cousin Vanessa's gonna tell you about her business, everybody has their own way of saying certain things. And we brought this together as entrepreneurs. And, we just all everybody do their own little different thing, but I like how everybody put their own twist to it. And it just is so exciting, and that's why we are so glad to have y'all here. So next up is our cousin, Miss Vanessa.
I ain't nobody. I'm
Yes.
Oh my gosh, she is the most
just
humblest
move in
person I've ever
silence.
met.
If you don't know, now you know.
Hey.
I love it.
I love it.
I love her.
Well, most people that do know me, I'm Vanessa Braxton, CEO of Black Mama Vodka in Grace Andy Braxton Distillery.
Okay.
And I am the first African-American woman distillery and master blender in the entire United States.
Wow.
Hand clap, everybody.
And I think I'm still the only Black woman distillery that has a still in the United States.
Okay.
I'm trying to get more people of color, more people like us in the community to get involved with the liquor industry and understand the dynamics of, making liquor, distributing liquor, and having the license and doing it the right way.
Absolutely.
And people don't know what a distillery is. You may see a brand. I make Black Mama Vodka. You can see it right here. And I launched this in 2013. So I got my license in 2012. And then I started actually having my own distillery in 2016, 3 years later. So, with me, people ask about how did I come up with Black Mama Vodka. My husband will tell you, it was 6 of us. Okay. We were drunk, playing spades. I like to say, something you do look, y'all Black. Right? We play spades every weekend, every Friday. People coming over to the Braxton's house. That was the thing. Friday night, play spades.
Okay.
Run a Boston on you, or if he's drinking, you know how it is. So it's always friends and family coming over to do that.
Okay.
And I said to my spades partner, my other spades partner, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna make a vodka and I'm gonna call it Black Mama Vodka. Go ahead. Okay.
That's right.
Look, I'm black on the mama, I make the vodka.
Yeah.
But it's all about being black is positive.
Go ahead.
Yes.
But think about it, it's almost 10 years.
Yes.
10 years ago, Black Mama Vodka wasn't that popular because you said black.
Right.
Now it's like, now everybody's like, oh my God, that name is so cool.
Yeah.
I know.
But can you imagine, people had a lot to say.
Wow.
When I was coming out with the brand.
Right.
When I had the brand initially, with the straight vodka. Right. We had a launch party. Big Daddy Kane was there. Right. We had it in Hollywood. It was a really big party. People could not get into.
Now they had a lot of bad things and good things to say.
Oh. Certain folks would say, not black people. Okay. Certain folks would say, if I said that and said white daddy, it would be racist. And I would say, you know what?
But black is a color.
Right.
Black is positive.
Right.
Do you want your money in the black or do you want it in the red?
There you
it's
go,
about
right?
Black women.
Right.
Positive women.
Right.
Black is positive. Positive women who have discretionary income to buy whatever the hell they want to buy.
Right.
That's
a
right.
Black mama.
Yeah.
Wow. That's right.
Wow.
Right. There you
So
go.
it's
like
about
that.
positive.
Yeah.
But even though I would retract, well, you know what? Y'all ain't got no problem with White Castle.
Right.
Or the White House.
So there you go, right?
Or the average white band.
Right.
So why I'm not gonna have a problem with me having Black Mama.
That's right.
Because it's about me and
Right.
mine.
Yeah,
and
and
my
you can embrace
community.
your own. You can embrace your
I
own.
love that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And you
I
ain't
love
cut no
that.
damn check any your goddamn way.
There you go.
Black
Right.
Mama
Vodka.
There she go.
And
That's
you can order
her.
it online too. Go to blackmamavodka.com because we ship everywhere.
Okay.
Right?
And also, can you explain to them about the aspect of the distillery? Because even though you had Black Mama Vodka, I thought it was more interesting that when, Cousin Tanisha made a thing about saying, you're the kitchen. So explain how you're the kitchen.
I ain't in the kitchen. I'm the restaurant. She done threw me in the back of the kitchen already. Look at that.
I want you to stop.
Girl, I'm already in the back of the
You better wash those dishes. You better wash those dishes while you back
there. You on fries.
I threw her in the kitchen.
Right, you threw her in the kitchen.
Wait, own the restaurant.
Okay. No, you are the restaurant.
There you go.
Yeah, you really are.
Look, she
okay, y'all,
in the kitchen already. Look at that.
Okay,
see how people do you?
Yeah, this got me tripping. Okay, so wait, you are the restaurant. How can you be the restaurant to other business owners? How can you service them being the restaurant?
Well, in actuality, I am the manufacturer.
Okay.
So that's what it is. When you're the manufacturer of
the plug.
anything,
I'm
the plug.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
And she is.
El Chapo.
Right. You know,
go.
just like growing the poppy seed.
Yeah.
So definitely,
Yeah.
I am the plug. I'm the manufacturer. I have to take all the raw ingredients.
Right.
If I'm growing the ingredients
Yeah.
and I'm taking the ingredients and I'm putting it into the still, or if I'm blending it, or I'm getting vodka or distilled spirits from somebody else, and then I'm blending it with another spirit that I make, I'm the manufacturer. So everyone has to come to me and buy from me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I dictate the price.
Right.
I make the market price.
Right.
So it's not just vodka, which is my brand, but I make for other brands. And people don't understand what a distillery really actually does. As far as our community is concerned.
Right.
You got moonshiners, you have all that, but that's the illegal side of it.
Right.
The legal side of it is the distillery, where you have the equipment, you have the manufacturing facility, you're bottling it, all that equipment and stuff you buy. You got the building, so people can come and you can private label for them.
Right.
You can private label. So let's say, for example, there's certain brands, Effin' Vodka. I'm gonna use that because I can.
Right.
But 50 Cent don't make that.
Right.
He hired a distillery to make it for him.
Right.
But it's still his brand.
Right.
That
and
makes
it's
sense.
still his brand. It's still
That makes sense.
the IP, the intellectual property is his.
That makes sense.
Right?
Exactly.
But not the juice, because he has to be a licensed distiller.
Okay.
So I would make the brand, I would make whatever the client wants, but it's their brand.
Right.
But they have to use a licensed distillery in the United States of America, because you can't make liquor in your tub.
Right.
Wow.
I thought you could. No,
Yeah, you can, but it's illegal. You can't do home distilling.
I know you
There's
can.
some
Right?
people do, but you can't. But you have to make sure you are going to a legal distillery who pay TTB, the government, the gangster, they tax money.
Right.
Because it's for real.
Right.
The government want their money first.
Oh,
They
we
don't
know-
care
we
if you
know
throw
that.
it down the
We know
toilet,
that. Yeah.
or you give it away, or if you sell it.
Yeah.
I'd rather sell it, because you gotta pay an excise tax to the
Right.
feds.
Right.
Okay.
The feds want their money.
And we talk about that a lot on our podcast about when you don't pay them,
Oh.
then you're in
IRS.
trouble.
And this ain't even IRS.
No.
This is the liquor authority.
Oh, okay.
This is separate
So this
from
is
them.
basically with us, y'all. This is like the FMCSA,
DOT.
DOT. It's the same thing.
In the
Right.
trucking world.
So in the trucking world, it's like DOT.
Okay.
Right. And
It's like they want their money. Ain't even DOT want their money.
Yeah.
They want the money off top. They don't care if you don't drive this week or you
Right.
do drive this week. If you got that truck sitting out front of your house, they want their money.
Exactly.
Wow.
So the same way you have with Department of Transportation from the feds, because that's how you have to have your license.
Oh, let me find out you know what DOT stands for.
Honey, I was an executive. I was an executive structural engineer for the MTA and New York State government.
Oh.
Well, look at you. Yeah, right.
Back in the day.
Okay.
My husband and I worked for the MTA. I used to be
Awesome.
vice president of Conference of Minority Transportation Officials for the New York State chapter.
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, and I retired in 2009. So that's how.
Did you start the distillery after 2009?
Oh yeah, I started the distillery when I came out with the brand in 2013, and then I built the distillery in 2016.
Wow.
Now, can you just give us a rough idea? Because, I mean, a lot of business owners that are inspired by our conversation, they just want to know, like, how much would something like that cost? Like, if somebody wanted to start a distillery.
What's the How much is, what did the guy say? A lot.
Yeah,
What's that? A lot.
A lot.
You're not talking about 10,000. You're talking about millions of dollars over the course of time.
Okay.
You know, and the value of early starting, you know, a million, I say $1,050,000.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, because you're always spending money.
Yeah.
You know, the stills cost, you know, you can get your still, you can get your equipment from overseas. People don't, you know, but having it here, you can. You know, I do. Yeah. So, but it's still a lot. You're spending, you know, $200,000. You know,
now, with y'all business,
$300,000.
do y'all plan on passing this down to y'all kids?
Oh, yeah.
Generational
this
wealth?
Is going to my kids.
Definitely.
This was always totally about the children.
Does your kids make liquor too? They know how to make it?
Alyssa, baby girl, know how to make it.
Oh, wow.
She knows how to make it. The boys, I would say, they know. DJ know how to make it too. Yeah, they know how to make it. You know, because I shared formulas with
your husband knows how to make it?
I was saying,
you know how to make it? You know how to make it.
You know how to make it.
What about your husband?
Is this like a partnership business for you and your husband? Like, is this you do the
No, baby. Look, you see him shaking his head? No, he's an engineer. He can talk the game of what he does.
Okay, so her
Distillery is me.
Now what about your
But you know what? Vanessa telling y'all the story, because guess what? No matter what, when two become one, he's in it whether he wants to be in it or not. You know what I mean? Like my husband does.
Money in it.
Thank you, baby. My husband does not cook, but you can best believe we're all in it. And back to your question about legacy, that's what all of this is about. I don't think anything should be done without a purpose or a plan. You know, so right now, everything that we do, you know, when I grew up, statistics, if statistics had its way, I would probably be a 17-year-old mother on welfare with maybe 10 other kids, you know, just trying to look for some government assistance. But I'm just grateful to God that, you know, you can break that mold and you can just kind of, I'm going to use Uncle Michael words. He said, when they had you, they broke a mold. Because I am the type of person, I don't want to necessarily be in the box. I'm going to be the person making the box.
There you go.
You know, and I feel like this. If you're not doing anything for your family, other than maybe just buying them Easter clothes, I'm gonna tell y'all this quick story. One day, my husband and I, we were watching one of the court shows, and it struck a nerve because the black couple were arguing about Easter clothes. You know, the wife was, I think the husband said, oh no, well, I brought those Easter clothes. And my husband and I look at each other like, really? You're fighting over Easter clothes? Like, this is crazy. But then a white couple comes up and they're talking about property. Like, I want that vacation home. You know, and these things kind of stick with you. It's like, okay, we have to get it together as a people and realize that we got to stop just leaving tennis shoes, debt, and Easter clothes to our children.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome. That's a
so
good.
Yeah. So what?
Good.
Yeah. So right now, you know, even with our other house, like right now we have 2 homes, about to get a 3rd one. You know, rent that one out. But you really got to think about legacy, and that's what we instill in our daughters. And honestly, anything that you do, you're not going to prosper unless there is a purpose. You know, and then not only that, God can't leave you anything if you're not going to pass it on. Like she's teaching her daughter. You know, God didn't give us wisdom to hold on to it.
He did not.
We should be sharing that.
But another
wisdom.
thing that struck me when I was talking to Miss Vanessa, it was crazy because, you know, how sometimes us as people, we just have regular conversations, right? And
that was powerful.
Talking.
That was powerful.
So when she was talking, she was just talking, and she was like, she breezed past it as if it was normal, and it is to her.
Oh, wow.
Because she understands it. She was saying, yeah, so, you know, when we're talking, you know, my kids talk to wealth about it. And I was like, and she was just talking, I was like, what is that?
Right? Like,
I was like, what?
Oh
So I think that us as people, we say this word generational wealth. And I don't think we really understand what that means. And it wasn't, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you, like, I kind of knew what it meant. And I do say it sometimes, but it wasn't until I actually talked to you the other day, and I was talking to
that was
Miss Tanisha, and she was also saying like, oh yeah, my daughter, you know, I own the house, you know, like certain things like that y'all were talking about as far as like investments, and when you were saying I'm like, that's like a bet. She was like, it doesn't matter, like my the kids discuss their funds with the professional. That's another level of like. It's like a mindset. It's not even like a level.
But you know what?
A mindset.
But you know, I think where we go wrong, I'm gonna tell you, last Friday, this past Friday, when I came up to her, she was just so welcoming.
Yes.
She's so humble. When she could have been the type of person like, please step away. I'm Miss Black Mama Vodka. She could have been like that, you know. But she gave us so much wisdom and knowledge in 2-3 hours. I mean, we all ate dinner together, and she was still pouring out knowledge. And then she had the nerve to go pay for our meal. I said, okay, big baller, we don't even deserve to sit at the table with her, right?
No, for real.
Right?
And those types of things,
she's humble.
I use that as an example. She may not have seen that as a gesture. When she got up from the table, we were still talking. She didn't pay attention. And I don't mean to put her out on Front Street like that, but I just want to use her as an example to let people know. That didn't mean anything to her, but I will tell you what it meant to me and Richie. And if you don't mind if I share. So the day before that, we were at Panda Express. And she doesn't even know what she did. She has no idea what she did.
It's deep.
The day before we were at Panda Express, and there was a guy that walked into the Panda Express, right, y'all? And I don't mean to put her blessing and our blessing on Front Street, but I just want to talk about this for a minute. We were at Panda Express, and there was a guy that walked in, and I'm sitting out in the car, and all I seen was this guy. I'm like an observant person, and I also I try to read people's spirits as opposed to who they are as a person first. Like, I look at gestures, I just look at different stuff.
Right.
So when he walked out, I sensed the defeated spirit. He kind of like just walked out, and he had his head down a little bit, but he didn't really make any movements. He just looked real defeated. He didn't say anything. He just looked defeated, and he kind of walked across the parking lot. And I seen, as I was thinking in my head, I seen Richie run out of the restaurant. So we're in this, me and him are like divinely connected. He in the store, I'm in the car. And I seen Richie run out, and I was like, And so Richie was like, come here. So the guy goes back in, and I obviously at that point, Richie was probably paying for his food, right? And when he walked out, he bursted out in tears and he had a mask on. He put his mask over his eyes.
His car had got declined.
He
had walked out.
Yeah, wow. So when Richie paid for the food, so when he walked out, he didn't cry the first time when he didn't have the food. He just like looked defeated. But then when Richie purchased the food, when he came out, he had burst into tears. He had the food in his hand and he was crying. So he hurried up and put the mask over his eyes, like he didn't want me to see him crying, I guess. Wow. And so I hurry up, and immediately I called him over to the car, like, excuse me, sir, would you mind if I pray for you, right? Because that was just me immediately.
Amen.
Like, I didn't even wait. But y'all, when I tell you, like, me even explaining this is gonna freak you out a little bit. I don't know if you are or not, but have you ever met somebody, like, when they say, it was never a conversation, like, when I asked him, excuse me, would you mind if I pray for you? Before I could even get my words out, he reached his hands out and bowed his head.
Yes.
But he didn't. But he didn't speak. He just reached his hands out and bowed his head. When I asked him what his name was, he immediately spoke his name. And then it was like I prayed. And when I was done, before I could even like hug him, he had already hugged me. It was like he was moving ahead of me. And then after he hugged me, this is no exaggeration, he completely disappeared, y'all. Like,
I believe
we couldn't even find him because I went to go give him additional money because that was what was put on my spirit.
Amen.
And I gave Richie an amount. Richie doubled the amount, and I didn't even know he was gonna do that. And then when we finally found him, now y'all, when we found this man, he was so far down the street on this highway that I don't even know how he got that far that fast. But when he found him, he was like scarfing down his food, like he was hungry. But he didn't look dirty. He didn't look in bad shape. He was clean. He had on a nice pair of shoes. But it was just amazing. And it was something about his spirit where, even down to when I gave him the money, he never spoke, but he had a language that was like so serene that I knew he was grateful.
Yes.
He didn't really, he said thank you, but it was a different kind of thank you. Like, I don't know whether he just really didn't talk to me or he didn't talk to us. And it wasn't meant for him to, but he never really said any words. It was just like, but I knew he was grateful.
Right.
And so here's another thing. Then I talked to Richie, I said, dude, the way he was moving and how when we went back to go look for him after the money, we busted the bin. We weren't looking for him, but I was just like, he disappeared again. So it wasn't like he was intentionally running from us. I said, sometimes we got to understand that God puts angels on earth.
And I was about to mention that.
And they be in human form. And we don't even know. And that was a test to see how we were going to react.
Exactly.
Sometimes God tests our obedience.
And he
tries to see. And then he tries to see. I know I'll be telling the full story, y'all. I'm sorry. But what I want to say to you, you didn't realize
I don't have
that
to.
after that happened and then you did that, it was so touching because you didn't see it like, you didn't know what happened the day before, but your obedience to get up and pay for our food, we was like, I had a conversation with God at the table, like, I see you, God, like,
there you go,
and you didn't even, you know what I'm saying, like, it came back to us, and you wasn't even thinking about that, or you didn't even know, no, for real, no, because it's so,
he works like
it's
that.
so funny because it's like,
you
just was being you, and there's not many people like that anymore. People don't just be them and understand, like, you doing that gesture, you was listening to God, you didn't even know. And you were being you, which was a genuine person. So, you know, again, I just really appreciate that. I really do, because I understand, you know, you are a nice person, and
I don't know if I'm nice.
Yeah,
yes, she is.
But like I said, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that she even did that, it just was showing how we were all aligned at that table.
Exactly.
Regardless of us just, you know, you guys being family, and you know, you guys, you know, being, you know, we met at the unfortunate situation where we were, but at the same time, it was like, I knew that God was confirming that I was sitting at the right table, regardless of who I was sitting there with. I was like, it was supposed to be this.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I felt that, because we weren't coming at all.
Oh yeah, we
weren't going to show up.
Yeah, but just, you know, like she said, she wasn't, you know, they weren't going to show up, you know, but everything was just so aligned, and it was just so amazing.
I truly believe, for me, when I'm doing something, because I gotta feel spiritually, or I gotta feel good. Hey, just stop shaking. I gotta feel good in doing it.
Right?
Because I sense your spirit, or
but you did it so smoothly, though. It was so smoothly, right?
I mean, used to this.
Right? Exactly.
Nah, that was planned. That was
right?
I'm just playing.
We were engaged in conversation. Next thing you know, she just said,
did it with grace.
Can I? You follow the waiter. I'm thinking. You
my
asked for another ginger ale.
I wanted my ginger ale.
Yeah.
You know,
So
that was definitely peak. That was
right. So it was, and not that we weren't going to come. We was trying to figure out now schedule, since it was 2 events. I'm not gonna call them events, but you know, 2 services. We figured, okay, we'll make one or the other. But I'm grateful, because I always look at every opportunity that God puts before us, and this was an opportunity to even connect with family. You know what I mean? And standing out in a parking lot for 2.5 hours. I normally
pouring it up.
but the conversation was so positive. You know what I mean? Like, it's no way in the world. Like, I don't spend time gossiping. I don't I don't waste a lot of my energy. But the fact that there was so much wisdom in that atmosphere that we even took it over into dinner. You know, and then to be blessed, you know, with you know, dinner being provided for us. I mean, we walked away with a lot, my husband and I. You know, we went home. Matter of fact, our whole weekend, we were just talking about Vanessa and Dirk.
We was talking about y'all.
Right, just talking. And just even, we shared, you know, Instagrams. We was like, look, telling our kids, like, look at them. Look at Asia and, you know, Richie, little Richie. Look at, you know, so, you know, and that's another thing too. Families can't be afraid to even just come together and work together, because you know there's that stigmatism. You know, oh, you can't work with family. You know, family do you wrong. No, only people do you wrong when you let them do you wrong.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So no, and now that you can't go into a relationship with that type of mindset, because you'll never win. You know, if you always think somebody's going to get over on you, or then you're going to have that type of mindset. You know, but. I wrote, and I like quotes, so, you know, the old saying goes, the sky is the limit. I don't know, your mind is your limit.
Right.
Wow.
That is what limits you.
She gives me so much.
And I'm gonna give you another good one. You know, we did a married couple seminar one time, and I had to let people know too, your words are so important. You know, so I coined the phrase, words are like dollars. How you use them determines your change.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
Hold on.
Somebody gotta get my phone.
Say that again.
Yes, right? So words are like dollars. How you use them determines your change.
Girl, you need
so
to
the
put
scripture,
a t-shirt on
I have a t-shirt, lady. I'm getting her voice. So you know why? Because God gave it to me years ago, and one day I woke up like in the middle of the night, and I just burst out in tears. I called my cousin, she's a reverend, and it's like 3 a.m. I'm down my basement in my office, and I'm pouring out in tears because I literally heard the name Malachi being called, and I'm sitting here like, that's not my name. And I wake up and I'm like, okay, Lord, I hear you. So I go read the book of Malachi. I'm sitting down there. I call my cousin, wanted to call my pastor at the time. And Malachi's purpose was to bring God's people back into a love relationship with him. And that's where families need to be right now. We need to learn how to love on one another, appreciate one another. Like we told Vanessa, I'm going to order a case of Black Mama Vodka. I'm going to bless our clients with that, whether they drink or not. And that's something I also want to put on the table. There's no judgment because she makes alcohol. Jesus made wine. You know, sometimes we as Christians
900 bottles.
Right? But here's the deal.
There was 5 barrels.
There you go, right?
There
so
you go.
do your math. Do your math, engineer. Do your
She
math,
better figure
engineer.
it out. She better
Right?
That's what it is.
Yeah, but see,
900
people,
bottles.
but that's why Christians aren't blessed. That's why God said, you know what? You got to turn from your wicked ways. You're so judgmental. You judge every little thing. You know, when you think about the parable of the talents, when they talk about, you know, burying your talent, that is wicked. You have a gift God gave you, whether it's liquor, whether it's tobacco, whatever that gift is, you're to use that for his glory. You know what I mean? And we are so judgmental. We have to stop. Our families won't grow. We can't pass anything on. And as a Black community, sometimes we're just so guilty of passing on hurt. That we don't think about passing on love. And when I stepped up to Vanessa on Friday, I mean, her energy right then and there, she embraced me without even putting her arms around me. You hear me?
She did.
She embraced us to a point where I was like, I'm coming to New York. You hear me? I'm coming to New York. I'm going to sit in Black Mama Tea and Cafe, and I'm going, yes, I am.
But you don't understand. Your words embraced us with her presence and your words. We was like, we got in the car. We had to take a deep breath and sit back for like 2 minutes before we started the car because you don't like y'all like bounced off of each other, and it was like her humbleness and your words, and it was something about it, and it was just weird. And I also want to give credit to y'all husbands because they were there the whole time, but they allowed y'all to be y'all, and it was amazing because like your husband is so chill and funny. Your husband is so chill and funny, but they bounced off of who y'all were and allowed y'all to be y'all. And sometimes like you know, husbands can be rushing. Like you know, when I was conversating, you know, they were engaging. They weren't just, your husband wasn't just sitting there like.
It's so motivating.
He you know, they were talking to me and Richie too. They were smiling. They just didn't look over. My wife talked too much. They just give y'all space to be who y'all were, and I love that. And I thought it was.
You know why?
Why?
Because they're good as Black men.
Yes, they are. They are.
Good.
They do. And
they're not. You know, there's nothing that can. You know, when a Black man is settled with who he is, what he do, where he's going, nothing can shake that.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Right.
We
Exactly.
can clap for the Black man. We can clap for the Black man. We can clap for the Black man. We can clap for the Black man. No, but for real. But another thing too, I thought it was so interesting too that that like, you know, it's generational. So y'all didn't even realize like. You know his dad, like y'all remember his dad.
Yes,
so
we do.
when we go back to his dad, like, you know, dad, you know, he said that ain't my cousin, that's my brother. What you talking about? You know, but we love that because when you guys see him, it's like I'm looking at your father, man. It's like I'm looking at the same
we
person.
do. Every time I see him, I'm like, man, like
you know what I'm saying? So that's a thing that I love because we ain't strangers, but I love the fact that it's connections. Like with you. Oh, that's your grandmother, but I know that. Come on, man. That's what I was about to say. That's what. So it was family, and I love that. And you know, I really did. I really loved that. And you know, I didn't really, you know, God rest her soul, I didn't really know Tracy that well. We've been in her presence a few times. You know, with Richie or whatever the case may be, but. I just seen her connect, like her connectedness. It was like
she brought us together. She brought us together.
And I seen it, and I was like, you know, I was like, from what I hear people say, she was just every person that I seen on social media. The first word they said about Tracy was, she was what? 4-letter word.
Real.
That's it.
Yeah.
Every
Real.
single person, black, white, brown, blue, purple, old, young, gospel, R&B, rap, no matter who it was, the first 4 words they said was, I cannot believe this. She was real. Yeah. And I took that when I was just, when I seen the news and I seen that, I took that word and I was like, oh my gosh. And it just reminded me so much of you, because how real she is. When you met her, regardless of where you are in life, or regardless of your platform, or regardless of who you are as a person. Because you talked about, and a lot of people talked about how Tracy, regardless of who she would let you know straight up, like, what's up? How you doing?
Right.
And no matter who she was, she still kept that realness and that down to earth. And when I met, and after talking to you, I was like, I don't even deserve to talk to this lady. No. Or even you, like, being related, sometimes, people feel like, oh, I don't, but y'all just was so real and so just welcoming. And yeah, granted, family or not, it's just the character speaks. Sometimes people can be real, but they can be shady real.
Exactly.
You ever met a real shady person?
Yes,
it's like she real, but she's shady. Right. And you be like, what in the world? But y'all was just genuinely real. It wasn't too boast to say, I'm in town. You like, let's go let's talk. I want, with your, and it's just like, take me out to dinner. Take me out to dinner. But you get what I'm saying? Like, you stop, and like I think either you said it or you said it, or I think it was your husband said it, I believe. Somebody said yesterday, they was like, people make time for what they want to make time for.
Yes.
Oh, always.
Somebody said, like, you could have been here, you could have had a million things to do yesterday. You had plans with, Mr. Kevin and stuff like that, but at the same time, it was like, you made time for us today. Regardless of you traveling and doing what you do, you got a super busy life. It's a million things that both of y'all could be doing today, but you stopped and was able to come and support us and show us love, and that's what it's about. Like
but also, you gotta realize too, it's reciprocal. Because if you didn't have a good spirit, then we wouldn't also be here.
Right.
Wow. That's a good point.
And I commend the both of you for that. Because you're the young generation. You're the next generation. Our asses are old.
And you guys gotta carry it on.
So,
only by 2 years.
That's 2 years. No. Switch? No.
Look. Well, now we can switch.
Right.
When you come on down here, I'm gonna go up there and make some liquor. How about that? Right? I'm going up there. I'm gonna be Black Mama Vodka.
Hey, hold on, ladies. How long y'all been married?
We going on 28 years.
28 years.
And we're right behind them. 27. This May 27.
Beautiful. Can we get a hand clap, y'all?
Yes.
We got a long ways to go.
Yeah, we got it.
It's okay. You can keep climbing. Keep climbing.
Yes, but you guys have a great experience. It's hard to see people your age in this day and age.
Tell the truth.
Right? Actually working and hustling and doing what you're doing for your family. You guys are just in a class by yourself. And when I see that, especially with, the trucking and the stuff that you're doing, I'm willing to share.
Exactly.
And when I'm willing to share, that means you're willing to learn.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Because I don't share with anybody that don't want to learn.
Tell the truth.
I don't have that type of time.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
And that's what you call planting your seeds on bad soil.
Yes.
The fact, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, you can't share everything with everybody because they're not ready to receive it.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because, as they say, you can look at this bottle and one person can say it's half empty, somebody can say it's half full.
Right.
Yes.
So the perception, how we perceive one another determines on what we receive.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and right now, being young, that's a great thing. And you guys definitely continue on this path that you're on. Think about the legacy.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Think about legacy, everything you do. What would you leave, not just for your children, but in your children.
Yes.
But also, too, for me, I'm very much into doing for our community.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have people, I have to give y'all that information. I apologize. They know, our podcast knows, we have the nonprofit I Am a Purpose Foundation. That's been in business for 5 years. That's our 501c3. So that's what we're fueled by. Like, this is our profit. That's our nonprofit. Our heart and our passion is in our nonprofit. This is what pays the bills, and this is what kind of keeps us going on an everyday basis. And for the younger generation, like you said that we were, we were just having this conversation yesterday. And I'm gonna use y'all as an example. Again, I know it's not important for y'all because y'all are mature, y'all are older, y'all are on a different level. But I want to make it clear because
always willing to learn.
A lot of our audience is younger generation. Let me say something. When I seen y'all, I didn't see a Louis Vuitton in sight. I didn't see a Gucci in sight.
Well,
Hold on. I'll tell y'all what I see. Hold on. I'll tell y'all what I see.
Go ahead.
So when I seen, you know, Miss Vanessa, she just looked like a regular. She is a regular lady, but I'm just saying, like, you would look at her and you wouldn't believe that she was who she was. Yeah. The way she spoke, the way she carried herself, and who she was. And then I looked down and I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Oh, never mind."
Okay.
I said, "Oh, never mind." Right. She had a little Birkin bag. I said, "Oh, that ain't even my Birkin." I said, "Excuse me, I'm just gonna stand on this side."
No, they tried to get me to hold it. I was like, absolutely not.
She was like, "Girl, this is just a bag here." I said, "Ma'am, take that back, please. We're not holding that." Right? But I talk about this because I wanted to say about that. The same thing happened with Miss Tanisha and them. You know, like younger. Oh, I want this car. I want that car. And you know, we were driving out and they didn't pay no attention. And we had took off our heels and she was like, "Babe, can you bring the car around?" I said, "Oh man, Rich." I looked at Rich and I said, "We thought we had something going on here." They pulled up with a custom white Tesla white seat. He said,
I was like, "Oh snap!"
Yeah, she said, "Press the button over the door." Me and Rich, me and Miss Vanessa was like, we was like, "Where you want us to push that? Right here?"
Oh,
we was like, "Huh?"
You know what? They undercover ballers.
Yeah, right.
Look,
but I use that as motivation, and I say that to say y'all like. You were just so humble, like, you know, granted you got it, but I mean, shoot, it's some, you know, I'm talking about our generation too. Again, like, they was like, "They got what? They got let me get in there. Look at the white seats." She was like, "Girl, you get in that car and sit on them seats." Her husband was like, "Girl, get in the car, it's fine."
Right.
We was like, "We ain't sitting on them white seats." That's not even white. That's on, like, you know, like, that's not even like. When I get my teeth stuff done, look, the lady was like, "It's a white off the chart." I was like, "Yeah, that's the car, the white off the chart." Like, that white of the seats, it wasn't even like on the chart. And then, you know, Mr. Vanessa was so, he hold the bag. Girl, it's just a bag. I'm like, "Nope, I don't want to hold that bag. Right? I'm good." Yeah. But, you know, like, and then I'm thinking in my head, y'all,
I was in Walmart with that bad boy.
This a little joke. I'm gonna tell a little joke. I said, I'm thinking in my head, maybe if I hold the bag, it's some good luck. Maybe I do.
But this is when you know you have money, when you can put some plumbing equipment in a Birkin bag.
Yeah, that's what she told me.
When she talking about, she opened the bag up to me, I had some plumbing equipment. Plumbing? Like, girl, like, look, nah, not in mine.
But I say that, like I said all of that to say that for y'all, it wasn't about those things.
No.
And for us, we seen it because we see it all day.
Well, I got another saying for you. You know, I should tell people.
Hold on, wait. You can't give me no more because I got right the first 3 down.
I got one
right there.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm ready. It's not as good as her.
No, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I always say, listen, ain't no pie in the sky because I got to go make this cake.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
Ain't no pie in the sky. Right there you go.
Make this cake.
Go ahead, right?
You had to take that one.
Yeah, I'm going to take it.
I'm going to write that one down.
You going to write that one down too? Well, you got it on video, so you're good to go.
But you know
why we're so, but you know what? Because cars, I've driven so many different cars. My husband is a car person. He'll go out and buy these cars. He'll get them. I just drive them. Yeah. You know, honestly, I don't pick out the cars. However, I'm a firm believer. One day I'm in my bedroom and, well, let me back up really quickly. He meets me at a mall, and this was years ago.
This is your
back in 2006.
Your husband?
I'm at the mall, and he asks, "Where am I at?" And I was like, he meets me in the mall. We walk back out to our car, and he was like, "No, hands me the keys. This is your car." And it was like a Lexus, nice Lexus back then, back in 2006. So I was like, "Oh, this is nice." And one day I'm just looking out my window, and I'm just realizing, and God just drops these in my spirit, you know, it's not what you drive, it's what's driving you. You know, because, and that's why I say that because, because, you know, you have to realize that, you know, we may all desire these things, but I'd rather desire something greater than a car, because you can get this material stuff, but wisdom you can't get. You got to ask for that. You got to seek out wisdom, you know? So, so I'm not really, when you say, oh, I say get in a car, it's a car. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm more concerned about what's driving me, what's pushing me to elevate. You know, so.
Wow, that's so good. That was awesome. But that's like what she kind of said too. She was like, you know, like when that's where, but
that bag is an investment.
But that's what she's saying. So which
it is. Oh, this girl got wisdom. Come on now.
But what y'all don't understand is that the way that y'all are talking, I personally, from what I see, I may need to unfollow all my followers and follow some people.
No.
I don't know.
The one with the blue check.
Yeah, the one. But from what I follow, this is what I see. Like, and I was just talking about this. Like, you know, Instagram is fine. It's cool. It's nothing wrong with it. You meet different people across the world. You make a lot of connections. But it's my 15-year-old daughter and her friends, or in high school, where they're looking, and if they don't have enough likes or enough views, or even in our generation, like you're just not validated. I said, when we need to literally start taking a stop moment before, because we're really like allowing other people to validate us, and that's where it comes into a problem. Where I asked the question last night. I said, what's the first thing you do? You put on a cute outfit. No, you was already scrolling on Instagram. So let me get up and get dressed. You get up and you get dressed. You put on your outfit. Take my picture. And what's the first thing you do? You edit it all up, make it look all nice, and you post it. And you sit there and you wait and see how many people's gonna comment, how many people's gonna like, and how many people's gonna view. This is what our generation do. You on vacation? Yeah, I'm out here. I'm chilling. I'm in the beach.
So do I need to do like a post with the Birkin bag and making liquor?
That's right. That's it. Bottles.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. We don't even see that.
That's what a friend of mine said.
We don't see that.
That you're really not seeing the true. Because let me tell you something. White people do this type of work all day long. Yeah. And they live in they do. Yeah. You know, Asian people too. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. And they making sure that their community and their family and what they're passing down is generational.
Yeah, exactly.
We really need to do that within our community, but I think we need to put our priorities in order.
Exactly.
When it comes to these things, and start from the very beginning. A lot of people don't want to start from the very beginning.
There you go, tell them.
They don't see the work and effort and the money and the time.
They just see the results.
They see the results. Yeah. And it's long, you know. Yeah. When you know, somebody asked me like 2 weeks ago, you know, how can I make quick money? Money's not
come on now.
Quick.
Yeah.
You know, it's long term investing.
But you know what? That's a good point. You know, when people say how can they get it quickly? The problem with quick money is that if you don't have the power to earn it, you won't have the power to keep it.
Right.
Bishop T.D. Jakes, don't give that to me. That's a Bishop T.D. Jakes. Yeah. So basically what it's saying is the fact that you all have that foundation to keep that trucking company going.
Yes.
Somebody who doesn't know anything about trucking decides to jump into the trucking business. Yes. You know, say, oh, I'm just going to go buy a truck, but don't have any knowledge. Guess what's going to happen? But guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose it. Yeah. You know, that's just like people say, oh, I want this big, fabulous house. You know, like you said, most of the social media lifestyles. I mean, most of these young ones want that social media lifestyle that they see. I want the big house. I want the nice, flashy car. But if you don't have a business, if you don't have anything to keep that going, you're going to lose it. Yeah. So you can have that big fancy house for a month, for a year, but guess what? You're going to lose it. That's just like people who do, you know, YouTube videos. We all like watching YouTube videos. Most of us call it YouTube University. That's great. You know, most kids today, they like to spend a lot of time watching YouTube. Our daughter, she's a Spanish teacher, and she teaches school, right? Yeah, she teaches middle school. And most of the kids in class, they're not worried about education. They're not looking at that foundation that they necessarily need. You know, everyone wants to be a YouTube star. You know, they may look at this podcast and be like, that is what I want to do. But when you don't have the wisdom, wisdom is a foundation. You have to get that, because that is what's going to help you maintain and keep what you have.
And people don't know how to do that. You know, and just like what you said, let's say with this war, they decide to have a cyber attack.
That's what I was saying.
Right? That's what you said. Guess what happens? There's no internet. How are you going to survive? I know me, I can go listen. I'll make some liquor in a still, and I'm still with a still.
Still make it work.
Right?
Exactly.
You always gonna not at least be broke.
Exactly.
You're gonna make some money. You gotta have some sort of skill set. And a lot of them do not. I get it. YouTube. Some guy said something to me about, I'm a YouTube star. I said, what part of the constellation is that? Because the only stars I know are the one up in the sky that
There you go.
What type
That's
of
a great
star
one.
that,
I like
you
that,
telling me
right?
I can be influence me with what?
Yeah.
You don't make nothing.
Yeah.
Wow, tell the truth.
Only stars.
Everything now is
up in the
image.
sky.
Everything is image now.
But that's what I'm saying. But it's damaging these younger generation women, and because it's gone to the air. Now, like I said, we love social media. We are entertained by it but me and Richie are entertained by entertainment.
Right.
So what that means is that we can go 3 months without posting nothing, and I love it because when I post, I was like, it'd be like. This is, y'all might not know, but it'd be like, welcome back to the streets. It'd be like, yeah. When we make a post, they welcome us back to the streets. But it's funny, but I like that because I know nobody's sitting around like, where's Asia? I'm wondering where she is. And granted, I do get some family members like, I ain't seen you posting in a while. You all right? And I'm like, I'm good. And one of my family members, my cousin Keon, she makes a joke. She say, I know when you ain't posting nothing, you doing something. But she jokes, because I always come back with something, and it's always something. And for my social media, they be laughing at me, but I really do that. Like, I was pregnant with Junior, I never posted, and I wasn't trying to be, I just wanted that personal time. I wanted to make sure everything was good, okay. I had the baby and posted the baby. You know how sometimes, but even like other stuff that I did recently, stuff my Instagram knows, and they asking me a bunch of, but I went away. I made sure I was good because you gotta be careful with certain energies that you project into these atmospheres. Social media is energy.
Yes.
It is a network. And if you post, I hate it when people do this, but to each his own. They on their way, they looking to open up a hair salon. They shopping with the realtor. They haven't bought nothing. Ain't got nothing together, but they're thinking about it. I can't wait. Coming soon, hair salon 101, and I'd be like, girl, don't do that.
And you know why?
No, for real, because you cannot project that energy because you don't know who is listening and who's
But
watching.
You know what that's
waiting
called?
For you to fall. What is it?
And I'm coming with another one, right?
Hit us.
Yeah, and this is another one, and it pretty much talks about how you build. When you build in silence, the enemy doesn't know what to attack.
Exactly.
So you have to, that's that time when you take that time and you're not on Instagram, you're not on Facebook, you're not on any type of social media platform. You need to build in silence. You got enemies, whether they're intentional or not.
Right.
They are enemies. And here's the thing, not all enemies hate you.
Yeah.
So sometimes we think, they're just hating on us, or they don't like us, or they just want to be nosy or whatever. No, everything is not always intentional. But when you put it out there, you put people in your business.
Yes.
When you sit here, like you say, okay, I'm opening up a salon, I'm showing everybody. First and foremost, I'm not going to show you what I'm doing or take you along on the ride because, see, that's as far as you're going to go. Yeah. Like I tell some people, you got to be careful who you even bring in your circle because some people are just there just to watch you, but you need people that's going to get in that fight with you. Take off the rings, the earrings.
Can you use that example that you gave us, the parasite or the...
Oh, the parasite, yeah. So you have some people in your life that are proteges and you have some that are parasites. Okay. And I got this from one of the bishops, Bishop Vashti McKenzie. I think she did a sermon on that. She had an excellent one. Talking about parasites want what you've earned. Proteges want what you've learned. And she did a powerful sermon on mosquitoes, gnats, and flies. Okay. Talking about the people around you like the gnats. She said God made the smallest insect, but it gets on your nerves. They get on your nerves. And so that's how you really need to categorize your friends and the people you are around. Yeah. Those who are, and when you think about flies, they don't add anything to your life, and mosquitoes as well. They don't add anything to your life. They always take from you. You know what I mean? And you got people like that. There you go, right?
And that you don't want.
And then they infect you. That's what they do. We have to be careful, and then you got to think about social media altogether. Yes. What is its purpose? If it's not benefiting you, then it's draining you. It's taking from you, taking all of your time. Like this podcast, you know, my husband, you know, we thought about doing our podcast. I told you all music for your ears. You know, we thought about that. And oftentimes in the back of my head, I just wonder, how often will I be drained? You know, pouring into people. My girlfriend says, well, Tynesha, you know, you really need to finish with your marriage counseling and, you know, your married couples ministry and so forth. You know, and I get that often. But like I told her, I said, you know, marriages are different today. They're not the same. When you look at Vanessa, you look at myself, we talk about 28 years, we talk about 27 years.
Hard work.
It's really hard work. I said, but you know, marriages today, they got too many options. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do.
It's just too many options out there, you know? And I'm not going to talk about people's lifestyles. That's their choices. But when you have too many options, that's just like when you get dressed in the morning. If your closet is from wall to wall, up ceiling to floor, and you have so many options, you can sit in that closet for hours and figure out, what am I going to wear? And that's what it is. That's why most of these men don't commit, or most women don't commit. It's too many options out there, you know? And commitment is not something that they value. You know what I mean? Like, growing up, when somebody told you, I don't know if y'all old enough to know, but I know Vanessa is your word. But when people say my word is my bond. Yeah, but when people say my word is my bond, people meant it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're bonded by this word. That's what it is. So right now, you have to look at that. When you think about your family, when you commit to your wife, what that really says is that you're really letting the enemy, anybody else, know that this is mine. But when your hand is off of that, or off of your family, whose hand is on it? You ask yourself, whose hand is on that? Who's shaping your family? Who is actually guiding your family and leading you all if you're not doing it?
And you know something, what I will say that piggybacks on that was like amazingly said. Like I just, it really was. Honestly, it really is. And both of y'all just blow me away with your words. It's like amazing. But what I will piggyback on for, as speaking for my generation too, another thing I noticed, I was talking about it yesterday, and I didn't really think about what I said, but I now get it because Richie explained it to me. He explained why I thought the way that I thought, but my thinking was wrong, and I was willing to change my thought if he told me a reason why I needed to change it. But he did, and he explained it, and I got it.
Good.
And I was wondering about this, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to steal your star thing. Only stars I know is the ones up in the sky that guard me. I'll have to take that one. I'm sorry.
Fine,
and you got a couple quotes I need to write down too.
Don't forget to take my gangsters moving silent.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I need the cake. I need the cake too. I need the cake.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
But I got a couple over there too. I'm gonna take them, but I'm gonna write them down. Yeah, right. We're gonna take each other's. But listen, so what I will say is that what I made a comment and said was, I don't like the word celebrity. I said, but you know, if you think about it, like the celebrities come and they like, I asked, what is a celebrity? I wanted to know what that was. Like, I don't know, but just like you said, you could call them celebrities or stars, but I like the star one. Only stars I know is the one up there. We all the same people. Because when you go, we all go the same way. It's no different. You may dress a little different, you may look a little different, or whatever, but everybody goes down there, or you got two options. Ain't no many options when you go. Cremation or in the ground. Which one you want? You understand what I'm saying? So when you get there, but what I will say is that I want to change what I thought. I said a lot of these stars or celebrities, they charge so much money to come and speak. And you know, when Richie explained it to me, he said, Asia, you got to understand why though. He said, change why you're thinking. He said, it's not because they want to charge that much. Some of them do, some of them don't. But it's because what y'all just said. If you get to a certain level in your life where you particularly find your purpose, you're on your God-given assignment in life, and you go and you project your energy to every single person for free or a little bit of money, eventually you weed out the bull crap and you say, okay, well, I'm doing this and doing it. They have to put a price to who they are, of who they feel that they're worth, and they will, if the person that can't afford them, then it's not for them. That's what he was kind of explaining to me. Like, if y'all understand what I'm trying to say, like,
I know what you're saying.
If they know, okay, I'm worth $10, and somebody say, she ain't worth $10, she worth $1, she ain't worth nothing actually, so can you do it for free on a 501c3? No, I cannot.
Wow.
But if that person comes to you and they don't see your worth, then they're not needing what you have to offer. And I thought, but that's Richie, you're right, because he said everybody's not supposed to go every place. Right. So they have to put a price tag to who they are, because only certain people can be able to afford them. And that really stuck with me, and I really appreciated that, because he said not all of the stars and celebrities are being bougie, Asia. He said, they just, and I wasn't saying they was being bougie, and that's not what he was saying, I was saying, but he was actually saying not all of them are just trying to get money. It's just that they are on a platform that they created, and they are walking in that purpose. And they
that's
have
biblical.
To put a tag.
And I get that.
Biblical?
That's biblical.
But wait a minute, but I get that, because I deal with, I'm in the liquor industry, so a lot of celebrities or people who will come, it's their brand. Yeah. And I get that, but that's their job.
Yes.
That's their job. Just like how you have a job, he has a job, everybody has their job and their purpose in order to do for their community. Yeah.